Yada da da yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da da yada da da yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada dum yada da 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 yada da da yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 dum yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yum. Erev Tov, good evening. Chag Sameach, Chag Pesach Sameach. Here we are. It's unbelievable. As soon as I start hearing that nigun or that nigun, whatever way you say that wordless melody, there's something that brings us back to the exact moment we were when we heard it last. And so while a year ago seems really distant, at the same time, it feels like we didn't miss any time. And here we are, back here again. I wish I knew, and maybe we can check back. I wish I knew how many years we're doing this. It was far beyond before COVID. And so another year, another chance to count the Omer together, another way, vehicle to deepen our own spirituality, our own connection to self, to oneness, to tradition, to new traditions and new understandings and new beginnings and finding our way. As tradition says, the Israelites were told that they would receive Torah on the 50th day following the Exodus from Egypt. And so Pesach began last night, and here we are on the second night of what tradition is. And so we all have different rituals that are associated with our tradition. But in the eagerness of leaving Egypt, of leaving Mitzrayim narrowness, going towards the expanse of what will be. Who knows what will be, right? We're in this tragic time for Jews. Certainly on college campuses, it's, beyond Israel. In these moments, people are feeling unsafe as Jews in major cities and in small little ones, but in major cities. And so we hold the weight of that Mitzrayim, that little narrowness, that the place of putting us in a corner. And we're hoping that, over this 49-day period of counting together, 7 weeks of 7, that we're going to add some sanctity to our lives, that we're going to add some understanding, some place of deepening our own, authenticity of self. And so we do this in a particular way. We start with a blessing, we count a number, and then we dive into some learning. And so each year I try to do something different. Last year, actually, it's right here. I didn't even realize I still had it up here. Um, but last year we used a tissue paper each day, adding something else. And so this year I decided to do something a little bit different. That we would have a counting of the Omer on a chart. That each week represents a different sphira, a different element, and each day one element comes each day from each week into each day. And so together we'll count it. So we're in this first week. We're in this beginning. We're starting now. Shehechianu will be before we even do the blessing and dive into the work. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lahazman hazem. A moment of evening gratitude each day this week, in this week of Chesed, in which we're going to talk about this week of loving kindness, benevolence, this week of showing up and reaching beyond ourselves. We're ending this day before we start a new day. Before we start this day together, let us pause for a moment of gratitude. Each of us has our own sense of what gratitude means in this moment. Each day, each moment is different. But as we end our day, we reflect upon the encounters, the experiences that we had today, in this one day. And so what if you call to mind 2 different things that happened today for which you feel grateful? What are 2 things that happened today that gives you some sort of gratitude? Now, reminder, this day started last night. So something from the candle lighting of the first night of Pesach to this moment right now. What are 2 things that you can give notice to, that you can put a post-it on it and say, this is gratitude for today? And when you have those 2 things, perhaps you want to share them in the chat, or you just want to hold on to them. And even if you watch this at another time, you can still always comment in the chat. We get notified. It also keeps you accountable, right? We say, Ma gadlu ma'asecha ya me'od amku machshavotecha. How great is the unfolding of all life. How deep the mystery. We begin our counting of the Omer. May it be your will, Eternal One, our God and God of our ancestors, by the merit of counting the Omer in anticipation of receiving your teaching and discipline of righteousness, we will add sanctity to our lives. Yadai-dai-dai-dai, yadai-dai, yadai-dai-dai, yadai-dai-dai-dum, yadai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yadai-dai-dai-dai-dum. L'Shem yichud, kushabrichu ushchinte, hineni muchan umizuman, לקיים מצוות תעשה, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, של ספירת העומר, 7 שבתות, תמימות תהיינם. We are now ready and prepared to fulfill the positive mitzvah of counting the Omer. As it is written in Torah, you shall count for yourselves from the eve of the 2nd day of Pesach, from the day you bring the sheaf of wave offering, complete 7 weeks. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidshanu, b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sfirat haomer, al sfirat haomer. Hayom, hayom yom echad, laomer. We are in the week of Chesed, the week of loving kindness, the red week, the week on day 1. Today is the first day of the Omer. In the week of Chesed, the whole week long, we'll be experiencing Chesed, the week of generosity, the week of love, the week of compassion. Into the expanse and received is love. On this first week of the Omer, we notice what inspires our generosity, what causes us to close down and turn away, and we wonder the capacity to give and to receive love. We wonder what it is to give and what it is to receive. And in cultivating this practice of responding to ourselves and others, we do it with compassion and we do it with kindness. Chesed shebechesed. Chesed, loving kindness, benevolence, love. Shebe, within. Chesed, love. Love within love. What is this day all about? It's about the continual flow. The flow of love in the universe. Love is out there, and we respond to love in different ways. It's, relationship between hearts, spiritually, intimately, in a workforce. It doesn't matter where the love is coming from, but it is this flow of love that happens in the universe between things. Loving without limits. A journey starts somewhere, right? The journey starts somewhere. It's an invitation to know that, hey, wait a minute. We are loved. We are loved absolutely. It should be our meditation, day and night, to say that I am loved. I am cherished for being exactly who I am. So many of us struggle just with those words alone, just hearing those words. I am loved and I am cherished for being exactly who I am. So many in this world are unable to say that, but may even be unable to hear it. Hear it again. I am loved and I am cherished for being exactly who I am. And through this love, I bring forth blessing. And through this love, I bring forth blessing to say, not only am I loved, not only am I cherished for being exactly who I am, but through that, with that, from that, I bring blessing to the world. Love within love. Love within love. So each day comes with a practice. Each day comes with something that we have to do, of course. This is work. This is not just show up at the Omer. Well, you know what? For some it may be, actually. I take that back. People show up at the Omer counting simply just to be counted. Sometimes it's just to count on yourself for showing up, which is beautiful. And that is your blessing. The blessing that you give us, the blessing that you give yourself for counting. But each day of counting the Omer comes with a little bit of work, a little bit of opportunity to deepen our own spirituality. For that is the essence of what we're doing. We're moving from this second day of Pesach to Shavuot, revelation at Sinai, when we're supposed to receive Torah. But how about if we weren't receiving Torah, we were receiving our own light within ourselves? To say, this is presented to you. You've done all this work, all this time, for that is Torah within you. So what is the practice for today? to sit for a moment. And it could be in this moment. You could be doing it as we're talking here. Or it could be at another moment that you're just paying attention to what it is. And then maybe you're going to practice it at some other point because you have from today until tomorrow night when we meet again. But to be in a place of love within love is to sit and bring attention to just your breath. The Shema is a prayer that we say 3 times a day. And often we're supposed to cover our eyes when we say it because in effort to block out anything that might be a distraction. And sometimes when people meditate, they close their eyes. And sometimes when people say they don't know how to meditate, it's because they're simply afraid to close their eyes because they might miss something. And so therefore they're unable to focus on that which is this moment. But if we were to sit and bring attention to just our breath, to only hear the air going in and the air leaving, what kind of love, what do we gain from the world by bringing it in? We hold on to what we need and we breathe out what we don't. To bring in what we need, hold on to it, and get rid of what we don't need. Sensations will pop up in our bodies as we're breathing, when we're focused on something. And when we're focused on something, we change our awareness, right? We change what we're doing, how we're feeling, what sensation is flowing through us. And so we continue to breathe. And as soon as we can quiet our mind enough to really feel that we're just breathing and we're just existing in that moment, it could be 1 moment's worth of time. I'm not saying to sit and meditate for minutes, even. But maybe after that first minute, after the first realization to say, hey, wait a second, I'm just sitting here breathing. What if we were to say to ourselves, I am loved? When we hear things, we have a certain systemic response. When we say things, a different one. But when we say something and then hear it ourselves, because we're listening to what we're saying, so in fact we are digesting it and hearing it, our bodies change. Systemically, the feeling is different. So quiet your mind enough. Maybe we can do a few breaths together since it's the first night. Breathe in for 3. Hold it for 3. Blow it out for 3. Hold empty for 3. And back in. If you can only do 1 second in, 1 second hold, 1 second out, 1 second hold. It's called square breathing. No matter what the count is, it doesn't matter. But only to say that we are paying attention and focusing on the air that's coming in and what we're holding on to, what we're pushing out, what we're holding empty for, only to be breathing it in, which that is love. Love for ourselves. A few times today, I want you to stop and I want you to remind yourself that you are loved. You are loved and you are cherished for exactly who you are. And remind yourself that that love is the blessing that you bring to the world. I want you to say, I am loved. I am who I need to be, who I'm meant to be. And when you're done for that 1 minute of time that you're going to allot, let's try to do it 3 times from tonight until tomorrow night. 3 times I want you to stop for 1 minute of time to breathe, to remind yourself that you're loved. And before you open your eyes, or maybe your eyes are open when you're going to do it, it doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with. At the end of that 1 minute of time, I want you to say, through this love, I bring blessing to the world. Through this love, I bring blessing to the world. from Psalm 119, verses 1 and 2. The words are fulfilled are those who walk in simplicity. Simplicity. Our lives are so complex, compounded by all that is in our own lives, in the lives of the ones we love, in the world in which we care for. But fulfilled are those who walk in simplicity, guided by the mystery of oneness of God. Content are those who are mindful of what is important. Content are those who go forward with an open heart. Tonight we begin the journey of an open heart. Tonight we begin the idea of love, the week of Chesed, the beginning of the Omer counting is the easiest and hardest simultaneously. For love is complicated. But when we open our hearts, we find a way to go forward. Our Omer counting will continue every day. It's every evening at 9:30. We were doing it originally on Erev Shabbat on Friday nights as part of the service, but I think to keep it 9:30 keeps it consistent. Keeps us, checking in at a certain time and knowing that where we are and not deviating from that. There's something about the checking in, keeping accountable. We count you. You're counted on. I count on you. You count on me. Together we count on each other. And together is the way we get through life in the easiest moments and the most difficult ones. And so I'm grateful to be with you. I see that many of you are on here, but not everybody has checked in. Elisa, Rabbi, Ariella. So good to see you, Ariella. For all of you that are out there, Amy, whoever hasn't checked in, let us know. Rachel, are you here? I mean, couldn't be Omer counting without the other side of the country. Let us know you're here. Share it with friends. Perhaps they're not Omer counters. They don't know. They don't know what it's about. They don't know about the spirituality that is part of this journey. Pesach isn't easy. This world that we live in is not easy. And so it's another way for us to add a little bit of something to our lives. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you. We look forward to continuing this connection. And of course, our morning connections continue as well. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I'll be here with some wisdom. Rabbi Jay is going away, so I will be sailing the ship. So you're going to see a lot of me, and we're going to be together a lot. And so I hope that you will support me. You will wish him a great vacation, how wonderful that is. And he'll have some family time and recharge his own batteries. And we'll be back here, continue through that. And we'll be back together when he returns. And so the journey continues. But today is the first step of our Omer journey together. So each night we'll start with a little bit of gratitude this week. We'll check in and we'll count the day. And let's remember, we are in a place of love within love from today until tomorrow. Remind yourself, I am exactly who I need to be. I bring blessing to the world. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai.